Hello. Today we're doing paper 1 of the Edexcel board, May 2023 paper of the higher tier, which is a non-calculator paper. And we are doing question 11 now. We're on to question 11. So, if we read the question, it says that write, and it gives you an expression in the form of ax to the b, y to the c, where a, b, c are integers. Let's have a look at what is the question asking us to do. It is basically asking us to rewrite the expression that they've given us in a simpler form. We know that each of those powers are integers. We know that x has a coefficient other than 1. Because it has the a in front of it. So we need to know what are the rules of multiplying and dividing indices. We need to know that would expanding the term on top help or not. Notice that the brackets indicate that every term is squared. So if you look at the 6x to the 5, y to the 3, the whole thing is in brackets, and then there's a squared outside the brackets, which means that everything inside that brackets is squared. And then if a, b, and c are integers, what must our next step be? So what are we going to do? We're going to have a look at the question. I suggest that you might want to think about expanding the term on top. And then presumably there will be some cancelling because you need to simplify it so it looks it comes out in the form, so you can make it look like the form ax to the b, y to the c. So pause the video, have a go at the question, and then come back and we'll do it together. Okay, so you're back. So let's have a go at the question. So what did we say? We said that if you expand, we're going to expand this. We're going to expand this term. Let's make that a bit bigger. So expand that. What does that mean? That means that we are going to 6x to the 5, y to the 3, being careful to copy it correctly. 6x to the 5, y to the 3. You can either do it like this, where you can say, okay, well, 6 times 6 is 36. X to the 5 times x to the 5, where you're adding the indices, remember, when you're multiplying. So it's going to be x to the 5 plus 5, which is x to the 10, and y to the 3 multiplied by y to the 3. Again, you're multiplying, so the indices are being added. So 3 plus 3 is 6. So that's what you have on top when you expand that top term. The other way you could do it is you could do it like this. We just draw, let's get rid of that. You could do it like this, where you would say that you could keep your 6x to the 5, y to the 3 inside the brackets like that. So 6 squared is 36. 5 times 2, because the 2 is outside the bracket, it's the power 5 raised to the power 2. So it's 5 times 2, so it's going to be x. 5 times 2 is 10. And then y, 3 times 2, y to the 6. You'd still get the same answer. It's just a different way of writing it out, depending on which you're more comfortable with. So if we look at the term underneath now, so let's rewrite that whole thing again. So now we have 36 x to the power 10, y to the power 6 over. Now notice that these two terms here, they're being multiplied together as well. So we're going to multiply them together as well, okay? We will multiply the 3 times 4, so 3 times 4 is 12. X squared multiplied by x, so that's like x to the power 1, isn't it? So 2 plus 1 is 3, so we have x cubed. and then we have y multiplied by y to the power minus 3. If we do that on the side here, let's do that on the side here, y to the 7 multiplied by y to the power minus 3. Remember, when you're multiplying, the indices are added together, so that would be 7 plus minus 3, and 7 plus minus 3 is 4. So here you have y to the power 4. We're still trying to cancel. Remember, we're still trying to get it into this form here. A to the x b power b, ax to the power b, y to the power c. So let's have a look and see what we can cancel here. Well, the 36 and the 12, well, 12 goes into 36 3 times. 12 goes into 12 once. When we're cancelling x's with powers, remember we subtract the powers. So 10 minus 3 is 7. So that becomes x to the power 7. Okay. And 6 minus 4 is 2. So that becomes y to the power 2, and that 4, because 6 take away 4 is 2, that 4 is gone. The only thing we've got on the left, on the bottom, is just 1. So on the top we have 3x to the power 7 y squared. That's our answer. Okay, that's our final answer. And if we check here, is it in the form ax to the b y to the power c? Yes, it is, because all of our a is an integer, a is 3, b is an integer, b is 7, and c is an integer, c is 2. So our final answer down here will be 3x to the power 7 y squared. Okay, if you have any questions, put them in the comments and I'm happy to answer them for you.